Good evening. It is I, Jared Logan. Welcome, SOBs, to Stream of Blood and tonight's installment of Vampires of Pittsburgh, a Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition actual play streaming show. Pittsburgh, city of brooding gothic horror. Between the three rivers flow rivers of blood, where the hills rise wild with the Camarilla Anarch War, and where they will put French fries on your sandwich at Primonti Brothers, or blood in your vodka at Elysium. We are so happy to have you all here. Tonight is another very important installment of our show. A lot is hanging in the balance for our characters. I can't wait to see what happens. We'll get into that in just a second. First, I have to tell you that Gen Con Online started today, and Stream of Blood is part of it tomorrow. The first of our special Gen Con attendee games is our Vampires of Pittsburgh game tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific. That's 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And the attendees will be actually playing in that game. We're going to have Gen Con attendees, people that signed up and paid for a ticket, who are going to be playing Anarchs in this Camarilla Anarch War we have created, and they are going to change our setting forever. They're going to break all my precious toys. Don't do it. Don't do it. No, I'm not worried. I want them to do it. I like it when players break things. I mean, you've seen the players that I play with. These attendee events, both for Vampires of Pittsburgh, and we're going to have one for our other show, the Neptune Society. They'll be in canon, in continuity, and they will affect our regular cast later on. Our player seats are sold out, and we're a little bit ago. But you can watch them live on Stream of Blood and on Gen Con's own Twitch channel. And all of our games will be available 24 hours later on YouTube, as usual. Please go get a free badge for Gen Con Online at gencon.com. And then go to the event finder, type in Stream of Blood, and get a free ticket to our shows so we're supported. And people know that you're watching Stream of Blood, you love Vampires of Pittsburgh, and, you know, you're just kind of letting us know and letting Gen Con know that. Okay, that's enough of that. I'm so excited about everything. I think that's why I want us to get into the game tonight. Oh, I almost forgot, and I shouldn't forget. We don't have a Patreon. Instead of giving us money, I want you to go to joincampaignzero.org. I want you to give them money. The protests are still happening. They're very important. And, every day we're seeing really scary news about how people are reacting to the protests. And I think a lot of people have the wrong idea about how policing should work in this country. Join Campaign Zero. They want to work to fix that. So go to joincampaignzero.org and give them some money instead of giving us money. And let's keep the horror here inside the game and not out there in the streets where all of us have to live. Okay, enough on that. I'm going to bring in my players for tonight. Now, we only have 2 players tonight because one of our players, his character is in torpor. So, R.I.P. Miles Vanderbuck. Yeah. God save the Vanderbuck. He will rise again, or will he? That's sort of up to the players in our next couple games, I think. Maybe tonight they can solve that. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I create a loose plan and then they destroy it. So we'll find out. But I'm going to bring in our other 2 players whose characters are very much alive and thriving. They're alive with pleasure. She's a fantastic actress who you can most recently hear in The Last of Us 2, a game everyone is raving about. And her character, Jen Brown, is a thin blood, a tech CEO, and, often when rolling the dice, a total failure. But she always makes it interesting. Please welcome Ashley Burch, everybody.
Da-da-da.
Yeah.
Back
Become Rusted.
Become Rusted.
That's a good one.
Hi.
Hi. How's it going?
Good. I don't know how we're going to bring Miles back from the edge, but we'll see.
I don't either. Well, we'll figure something out,
We'll
right?
figure something out.
Have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's complicated. When a vampire goes into torpor, it's very complicated on how to get him back. So I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. Are you worried? It looks like you're worried.
Well, it's a bit of a out of the frying pan into the fire sort of situation, I think.
Yeah.
I was remembering what was happening in the last session and how, let's say, intense Mary is.
Yeah, she is.
Generally a little nervous about what we've gotten ourselves into.
You've kind of struck up a little bit of a relationship with her, I think.
A bit of a rapport. Yeah. A bit of a rapport. I don't know if that's a good thing, but that's what happened.
You have a friendship with the weapon of mass destruction that this band of anarchs is carrying around. So maybe there's something you can leverage with that. I'm going to bring in our good pal. This guy is a fantastic improviser who's part of the Improvised Shakespeare Company. You can see him all over TV, film, on stage. He's been in The Good Place, a lot of other shows I love. And he is an incredible tabletop role player. Playing Curtis Krieger, the oft-conflicted, recovering addict and veteran of foreign wars. Please welcome Ross Bryant, everybody.
Ooh. Oh, hi there.
Hi.
Oh, you caught me just boning up on my Gnostic scriptures.
Yes.
You mentioned the demiurge a session ago, I think, and I was like, oh, yeah, where have I heard that before?
This is the vampire equivalent of when you're playing Dungeons and Dragons and the kid has memorized the monster manual. For vampire, Ross has to quickly look up the Gnostic scriptures, and then he can win the game.
Yeah.
If you had to pick a favorite Gnostic scripture, what would it be?
Funny you ask, because I happen to have one.
Oh!
Now, this doesn't really get into any of the demiurge stuff, but because Gnostic's whole thing is that there's a big difference between our corrupt world of the flesh and material and the pure and refined world of the spirit. According to the first century Gnostic theologian Valentinus, quote, Jesus was continent, enduring all things. He ate and drank in a special way without excreting his solids. He had such great capacity for continence that the nourishment within him was not corrupted, for he did not experience corruption. So according to the Gnostics, Jesus didn't poop.
Jesus didn't poop. Wow, that's amazing.
So he just reabsorbed everything and made it.
He ate and drank in a special way. Could something that is perfectly of the spirit ever corrupt matter?
He had a perfectly efficient digestion system. It perfectly, That's amazing.
He excretes a net zero. It's perfectly sustainable. Yeah.
This is what your schools were too scared to teach you.
Wake up, sheeple.
Wake up, sheeple.
Yeah. There's a lot of old stuff like that. I remember in the Brothers Karamazov, this very prominent monk dies, and then everybody's like, he won't decay. Like they're like, his body won't decay. And then it's a big plot point in the book that, he does, because it's a human body. And I think that's a vampire idea too, right? Like, what if the guy didn't decay and then he came back and then he killed you? All right, I'll post that in the Facebook group. That's not for right here. Welcome, Ross. Welcome, Ashley. Are you ready to get into this?
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. I'm going to set the scene. Your car comes careening around the corner. You decided to go back to the church, you recall. Actually, we might need a little bit more of a recap. Let's go back just a little bit. Last session, everything went completely haywire because Miles Vanderbuck tried to attack Mary with a stake. Yeah. You two were dealing with a riot among the anarchs as Miles was sort of trading blows with Mary, who is, by all appearances, some sort of elder kindred. Miles actually happened to be able to escape out the back window of the church. You guys sort of followed as fast as you could, but you were dealing with the anarchs inside the church who were unpredictable, to put it mildly. At one point, Jen Brown almost got accused of staking Erasmus when, in fact, Miles had done that. Mary followed Miles out into the street in the form of an enormous black goat that then overturned cars and was sort of going berserk. She seemed to be in some sort of frenzy. Miles used the chaos to escape. You guys managed to calm Mary, and Jen Brown specifically managed to calm Mary and sort of actually get through to her. And then you both set off to find Miles because the Anarchs were going on kind of a whole like mob hunt for him with pitchforks and torches. Not torches because the vampires hate fire, but you get me. And Miles, man, he almost made it. He had taken a lot of aggravated damage from Mary's claws, and he made it back to his car near the bridge where you initially met all these guys. And I don't know, the rolls weren't in his favor, and one of the Anarchs found him and shot him with an automatic weapon, and he went into torpor. You guys arrived very shortly thereafter and managed to retrieve his body, and that brings us to the current moment. You decided to go back to the church, a fateful decision. You could have ran with him. You could have said, we're going to ditch these guys. We don't like these guys either, but you decided to go back, and so now your car's careening around the corner back to St. Michael's Church, and I can tell you that in front of the church is total chaos. There are cars overturned and on fire. Anarchs are running everywhere. You see Erasmus in the middle of the chaos, his like face kind of lit by the flames, like furiously texting, because that's how much of a dork he is. He's like sending out messages to everybody, and he's going, burn out, and you pull up. What would you like to do? How would you like to interact with this scene?
Okay, I'm in the car. I'm like, and all the while muttering, "It's the right thing, like I did it's the right thing. I mean, we can't go back.
It's fine. It's fine. It's okay. You did the right thing."
And then it's shaking it off and pulling up, like I'm going to get as close to Erasmus as possible.
Great. He immediately spots you. He puts his phone down, and he looks in the back seat, and he sees the body of Miles Vanderbuck, which is just a corpse now, a corpse that's riddled with bullets. Miles sits there, his eyes still open, glazed over, blank. I mean, it's death. By all appearances, it is true death. And he says, "Okay, put Miles in the back of the van, and everybody scatter. Okay, I want Jen and Curtis and Cross and Kenya. You're with me.
Whoa. We're not leaving him.
Hold up, yeah. No.
Come with me in the van. Come on."
Remind me whose car I'm in right now.
Yeah, I believe that you are in Miles's car.
Miles's car. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
The car question has always been one that has. Yes, I love our car. We're always dealing with the cars. Yes, absolutely. It's Miles. I'm certain of it.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So okay. I hop out with Ruby, grab Miles, drag him to the van, not leaving his side, and but before I'll set him there, but I want to run back to the car if there's any other stuff, like in terms of like, I have my pistol, my knife. Are there stakes and other weapons in there?
So I mean, whatever you packed in there, it's there.
Yeah. Great. I think there was a rifle, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think there was.
Great. I've got that, and I run over there as well.
Okay, so you are taking Miles into the back of the van. Is that what I hear?
But not leaving his side. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I mean, again, you're just lifting a dead body into this van, and it's really kind of disturbing to see your friend totally lifeless like this. You haven't been a kindred for very long, so to you it is death. I mean, that's how you still feel the human emotions that you would feel from a friend dying. You hear Erasmus go, "Cross, take care of those witnesses," and you suddenly both notice that there is a teenage boy on the street who is filming everything, and there's a woman like looking out of her like front door, and Cross, the huge muscly guy with the black cross tattoo across his face, gestures to two of his guys, and they start heading toward this woman and this boy.
I'm gonna check to make sure that Curtis has Miles, and then I'm gonna rush forward, fuck. No one would have booze on them, I guess.
I don't think that they would. I mean, but I think it's safe to say that you might have a flask or something, gentlemen.
Yeah, right. Okay,
yeah, I think that's probable.
Can I swig it, and then I'm going to approach Cross and go, "What are you going to do?"
he kind of like looks down at you like, oh, you're talking to me now, and then he kind of goes, they're coming with us, and then
I can erase their memory. I can erase their memory. You don't have to do anything to them. Isn't the whole point of you guys? You want to be fucking ethical or whatever? Just don't hurt them. I can erase their memory.
Who told you I want to be ethical? I want to win this war.
Well, they're not part of it.
All right. Erase their memory now.
Okay. That urn isn't anywhere, is it?
Actually, you now see Erasmus has put it into a rolly bag, and he's rolling it. Yes, a rolly bag, like a
the
rolly.
indignity.
What kind of silly operation are we a part of now?
Well, truly, and he is rolling it over to the van.
Okay, I'm gonna go, and I'm not gonna ask
traveler
him.
at the Hyatt Regency.
I'm gonna, I guess, spoon a little bit into my mouth.
Oh, you're not even. So Erasmus is like, "What are you doing?"
I'm just gonna do it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. It's like shooting up heroin. It's kindred vitae once it touches this urn, and it stayed very full considering everybody was like taking swigs from it. Yeah, you're empowered, and your hunger is once again at 0.
Okay.
So yeah, you've mixed blood and vodka, which is the Jen Brown signature drink. What would you like to do?
I want to go up to both of those people, and I'm going to try to erase what they saw.
Okay, so you're walking toward them. Erasmus, like after you take you drink out of the urn, he's like, "Hey, hey!" But you just keep walking, and you are approaching the teenage boy who's like filming. You pass Cross, who's kind of like still standing in the middle of the street watching the kid. And behind the teenage boy, I mean, 100 yards back, kind of looking out of her window, and she looks like she's on the phone, is the old woman.
Okay, I'm going to go to her first.
Okay, great. When you start approaching her house, she doesn't look scared of you, little Jen Brown, who doesn't have a pale face or anything. So she's just talking into her phone and looking right at you. But she does have like glass between you and her, and she's just like talking to her phone.
Oh, so can she hear me?
I think she can. I mean, it's just thin glass. If you speak loudly, she'll be able to hear you.
Okay, so I want to, I forget what this power is called, but I want to erase her memory. So I basically want to say, you're going to tell whoever you're talking to on the phone that you're having a night terror. You're going to tell them everything's fine, and you're going to hang up.
Okay, you're going to cloud her memory.
Yes.
And to do that, you're going to roll your charisma plus dominate.
Okay.
Your dominate is 1 dot right now. You've just kind of powered yourself up.
Okay.
For people who know about such things, the urn kind of contains a lot of different resonances. So for a thin blood, it can kind of energize any type of discipline that they want to use. The urn does a lot of things. Okay. You are going to cloud her memory, and you are going to, let's see here. You don't even need to rouse to do this. You're just going to say that to her. Let's see if it works. She gets to roll her.
Oh, she does?
Wits plus resolve. Oh, no, only vampires do. Forget that. Okay, great. No, just still, I want to know. I want to see how well you do.
2 successes.
2 successes. You see her kind of like lose interest in what's going on outside and kind of move back into her house as she's like putting the phone down.
Okay, great. Now I'm going to boogie back to the teen.
Okay.
That's what the kids say, right?
How do you do, fellow teen?
He's been filming. He filmed what you just did.
Okay, great. I'm going to take another swig of my flask.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, you're going to hand me the phone. You're going to, how much can I do actually?
It's more like you have to just kind of make the last couple memories go away, which worked for the lady. But
okay, I have an idea. Okay, so I'm going to say, you're going to give me the phone. You're going to remember that your friend was telling you about a film set and that you came to sneak on and try to see what was going on of the movie being filmed. And as soon as he's done, I'm going to be like, hey, what are you doing here? Get out of here, basically. You're not allowed here.
he starts going, "What are you talking about?" And then you need to roll your dice pool again, which, as we said, is a charisma plus dominate.
1 success.
1 success. Okay. He's like, "I'm not giving you my phone." What are you guys filming?
Oh, it didn't work. God damn it. Kid, what are you doing here? You're not allowed to be here. This is a closed set.
Okay, geez, like, relax.
Give me your phone.
Can I? No.
No.
I'm
gonna look over to
running.
He starts
and
running.
He's running toward Cross.
I'm just gonna act like it's all the same thing and be like, get that kid's phone, please.
Cross, let's see. Yep. And now let's have our boy. Okay, Cross easily grabs the kid, gets him in some sort of lock, makes him drop the phone, and goes, "You made a big mistake, kid," and starts pushing him toward the vans.
No, hey, we're good. I just need to get the phone to wipe the footage. We're good.
You said you'd make him forget.
He doesn't know what's going on. Like, can the kid hear me if I talk to Cross?
Yeah, I mean, Cross is holding the kid in front of him right now.
He knows that this is a closed set. His friend told him about some movie being shot here, and he knows he shouldn't be here. So I'm gonna
terrified. The kid's like shaking.
So I'm gonna delete the stuff off of his phone, and then we can let him go. We don't need to get him in any more trouble. He's just an idiot.
Okay. That sounds like a composure plus persuasion roll to me. And
sure does.
Cross is a dangerous character, so I need 3 successes.
Oh, son of a bitch. Well, you get 1.
Okay. Can you re-roll with some willpower, or are you out? You get 1 point back at the beginning of the session, you'll recall.
I can try. Okay. Oh, I got 4 successes then.
There you go. He goes, "Fine," and pushes the kid to the ground and heads back to the vans and like the trucks that are all starting to peel out now.
I'm going to grab the phone.
Yeah, the phone was kind of laying on the ground already. You got it.
I'm going to quickly, I assume I know how to do this. I'm going to quickly delete the entire, like everything. I'm not even going to try to be discerning. I'm just going to like wipe his phone and then hand it back to him.
I think that Jen Brown, your character concept doesn't, that you don't have to roll for this. You just kind of, ow, it's done. So you throw the kid back his phone, and he's just kind of like sitting there kind of shaking, and Cross and his goons are kind of moving out. They've pulled like a bus around, and they're moving out, and everybody's moving out. And Erasmus is watching as Mary gets into the back of the van over where you are, Curtis. She kind of slowly like lifts herself up into the van, and they're waiting for you. There's also a kindred in the back of the van who doesn't need to get pink. It's a young black woman who you had not spoken to before or met before, but she's waiting back there beside Mary, and they're waiting for you.
Okay, I'm gonna just tell him. I'm gonna try to keep up the ruse and basically be like, "Kid, scram! Okay, just get out of here. You know you're not supposed to be here. Get out." You've convinced him. He gets up and he runs. Yeah. Okay, I go to the van.
Okay, great. You get in the back of the van. Curtis, are you ready to haul out?
Yeah. I've been just kind of watching all this, making sure she looks relatively safe, and then as she starts heading back, I'm like, yeah, come.
Now Erasmus is driving you very quickly through the streets of Pittsburgh. And while he's driving, you can see that he seems like he was so calm and collected and smarter than everybody before, but it really feels like his cool has been a bit shaken. And he keeps kind of looking back, kind of like glancing back at Mary, like, oh God, like, and you feel like he's about to say something, but he never quite says it. Let me know if you want to do anything on the ride. Otherwise, I will set the next scene.
So there's a kindred that we don't know who they are?
That's right. There's a young black woman. She's got a big head of hair. She's got kind of like very like youthful clothes, like a hoodie and like, jeans and a bunch of necklaces. And she's kind of like sitting there kind of eyeing you all and kind of eyeing Mary and kind of just riding in the back of the van with you.
Did we see her in the meeting before?
You did.
Okay.
You did. But there were a lot of faces in there, and you didn't really get a chance to really talk with anybody. But you do remember Erasmus yelling, I want Mary, I want Cross, I want Curtis and Jen, and I want Kenya to come with me. Her name's Kenya.
Okay.
I want to, so Miles is there laid out, Ruby and I there.
He's in between all of you. It feels a little bit like a wake.
Mm-hmm. Okay, got him. I want to lock eyes if I can with Mary.
Okay.
And just begin thinking, not saying, but thinking, like just, you said you would teach me. You said you would teach me.
Ooh.
You said you would teach me.
You see kind of her eyes meet yours.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hear a voice in your head say, patience. First, you must accept the angel inside of you. You must be ready to let it out. This takes time. No one hears this because you guys are speaking telepathically.
Mm-hmm.
So you see Curtis with like a one vein on his head kind of shaking.
Yeah.
Just like the one like bead of blood coming out of the nose.
Yeah.
I have a question. Okay, Miles did go into torpor before when his arm got ripped off, or no?
He did that one time. Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was full torpor, but he was in a very, very bad straits.
And I fed him, didn't I?
Mm-hmm, yeah, you fed him. You fed him from your own arm.
Okay, so I'm gonna do that now, assuming that's. I think I would assume I could do something similar. So
yeah. Okay, you start to do that, and Kenya goes Erasmus, and he looks back and he goes, No, Jen, stop it. Okay, we all have to talk about that. Okay, we have to talk about Miles.
What do you mean talk about him? Like you're not gonna let us revive him?
Not yet. Okay, just not yet. Can I just get us to a safe place?
Where are we going?
The Camarilla is going to be down on us in seconds if I don't get us to our next bolt hole. We're going to the blast furnaces. And that's when he starts to pull in. You've been driving about a half an hour. He starts to pull into this structure on the banks of the Monongahela River. This enormous, like industrial complex. The towers loom up above you like towers in Mordor. They're like these huge industrial, like that. And you see an old sign that says Carry Blast Furnaces. He pulls into through where the gate would have been and into like a huge kind of internal courtyard area surrounded on three sides by these enormous blast furnaces. They're so big that they form part of the buildings themselves. And that was Carry Blast Furnaces, which you just saw, which is a real abandoned location in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Oh, cool.
So,
great.
Yeah.
Another perfect place for a blood rave.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's maybe not time to blood rave right now.
Yeah.
Erasmus parked, and you notice that Cross's bus is like pulling in as well, and him and two of his guys are like getting out of that, and he's like, "Okay, everybody out. And you realize also that it's probably getting pretty near dawn. You probably have an hour and a half, an hour before dawn, Erasmus is now outside, and he's telling Cross to come over, and he's conferring with him. Kenya is getting out of the van. Mary is just sitting there beside Miles's corpse, looking at both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get him out of here, huh?
Let's get him somewhere safe and out of the sun.
When you go to carry him, Mary helps you.
Great.
And in fact, if you don't mind, she's just going to kind of put him on her shoulder.
Okay.
She's little, and he's like a 6'2" guy, and she's just kind of like carrying him easily. And you see that, you know, these buildings, like they have these big kind of garage-like doors, and then you can go back very deep into them, back behind a lot of industrial machinery, to the furnaces themselves, which have big hatches that you can open up, but they're sort of these enormous, I don't know, funnel-shaped machines. They look scary. And she kind of like lays him down back in an area where the sun wouldn't reach, even if it was full noon, and then kind of like sits down and starts to sit vigil over him.
So she's in a safe space where there's no light that could stream in or anything?
No, it doesn't look like there would be any light streaming in. If you look around, you kind of see that it looks like some holes in the ceiling have been shored up. There's like tarps that have been carefully kind of tied off and things. It looks like there is some evidence that someone has been here and kind of fixed this up as a haven a little bit.
Okay.
I'd like to approach her sort of cautiously and sit on the other side of Miles.
Great.
And say, a devil has taken hold of him, and we need to figure out how to break that bond. Do you know how?
You are talking about redemption.
In a sense?
She looks you in the eye and she goes, "Talk to me about redemption. Why did God redeem Saul at Damascus?"
I'm not really up on my religious studies, to be honest.
She just stares at you. If you'd like, you could try rolling something to answer this. And I think that this is kind of an important conversation. So you can go off and think about it, Jen Brown. Or you
Is
can
Curtis around?
I'm
Curtis
here.
is with you. Yeah, Curtis is with you. Either of you could roll something to kind of try to figure out how to answer this or how to kind of handle this conversation.
Yeah, what would the role be?
Well, I think that it would either be an academics role, perhaps, an intelligence plus academics role if you wanted to kind of pull out your biblical knowledge.
Okay.
Or if you wanted to just answer in a spirit that in a way that you think that she would appreciate or approve of, then you might roll insight. You might roll your wits plus insight.
Mm-hmm. I mean, can I say that, like, maybe through his time in when Curtis spent time in NA, he's sat through enough religious services to know some broad strokes, and maybe just comes up and is like, he just got struck by a light. He was converted by the light of God.
That's right. So you know the story. But why did God redeem him?
I don't know.
That will let us know why we should redeem your friend Miles.
Because
she
maybe
looks down at him again.
Maybe God saw some potential in him that other people didn't see. Maybe saw some potential in that society didn't see. And this, he's got potential. He's a good person, a powerful person. He doesn't deserve to just die in the street.
Good. A good person. Oh, good and evil. They're nothing in into the power of God.
Then maybe I should just say that he saved me a few times. So maybe we owe him one.
I think I would like to be alone now.
Could I made a wits plus insight roll and I got 4 successes.
Ooh. Then you can say one final thing. You know that a good answer for her might be something about how she always talks about how the beast is an angel inside you, you know, like why did God redeem Saul? Because maybe something like the beast can't be tamed, or I don't know, like the truth is a beast, something like that. You think that something like that might show that you've learned something from her sermon.
Okay, so I'm going to say there is a beast within Miles, and when we met him, it was untamed. It was the most untamed of all of us, and someone has tamed it. The person that you saw was not Miles. We know Miles. And the beast within him is strong, but it's been shackled, and it needs help to be set free.
Well, let me spend some time with him then. And she kind of like caresses his cheek with her claws.
Oh, God.
But she's kind of just like, sitting Indian style, like watching over him.
Okay. Thank you. Mm-hmm. And
where are you guys? Hey, Erasmus comes to the back and he's like, oh, hi. He immediately gets nervous again when Mary's there. He's like, okay, come on. Time to bed down. It's going to be dawn any second now.
Hey, do you know what she's doing with him?
She's... Mary? She looks at him. Just keep him safe for right now. She just sort of nods. We'll discuss Miles tomorrow. Now come on. And he goes over to one of the furnaces and opens the hatch and is like, you guys are in here.
Can I check? Can I see, like, this is disconnected? There's no way this shit could just turn on and burn us.
Right. You could check that, actually.
Okay.
You could check that. You need to give me, you have good technology skill, but not in this particular type of technology. But still, your technology skill is useful. Give me an intelligence plus technology roll, and I need 3 successes. If
I don't give you 3 successes in this roll, I'm throwing my computer. I gave you a 7 successes.
Aha. Erasmus goes, what? Are you afraid it's going to turn on or something? Like it would take a team of guys weeks to get this whole place up and running. Are you kidding me? Jen Brown, for certain that, you notice that people have been in here fixing it up, and for certain that this thing can turn on.
Can I go and just turn it on to show him?
Yeah, you can do that.
What were you saying?
You turn it on and suddenly the flames go up, and everybody needs to roll their willpower, including our friend Erasmus.
Oh, shit. I forgot that we could just get spooked from. Okay. I have no willpower.
That's okay. I think you can still, oh no, I think that you should, damn, let me check. I think that you should roll what you have left.
Okay, well, that's a failure.
Okay. All right. Well, you failed. All right. Let's call it a failure. Let's call it a failure. And Curtis, how did you do, my friend?
1 success.
Okay. And Erasmus, let's see how he did. Erasmus is fine. But he kind of goes for a second. Jen, you are a thin blood, so you're not quite as affected by these things sometimes. So, but you are like, you turn it on, and then you're kind of like, you have to get away from it. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like you have to scatter away from it. And you know how I told you like that first night you all bedded down in your haven, like you're kind of moving like animals, like in some points. Like Jen Brown just turned on the furnace and then went, and then like had to move back, like skitter back, like backward, like almost.
Can
like
I turn
an
it
animal.
off again? Can I like skitter forward and turn it off again?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go up to Erasmus and say, what were you saying?
It was insurance. Okay. I don't know whether I can trust you guys. I need some info from you. All right. There are some things that I need to know. Okay. If this is going to go off like the way it needs to. And this was just insurance to make sure that,
I should have left
sorry.
that stake in your heart. And I'm gonna go. Are the cars backed up, like blacked out? I should say.
The cars are blacked out. Yes.
I'm gonna hold out my hand and go, keys.
He puts them in your palm.
We're sleeping in a van, and then I leave.
And I follow. I get, and I assume that one success didn't cause me to flame out.
You didn't flame out. No,
Okay,
you
cool.
didn't. You didn't flame out.
Didn't
You're
freak.
okay.
Yeah, so I just walk past with Ruby, just like maintaining eye contact on him. So,
Actually,
okay.
can I grab Curtis's hand and say, do you want to leave her in here to look after Miles?
I don't know that that's much good, considering she can control him better than I can.
And in fact, when you say that, you suddenly see that Mary is like sitting there, and Ruby is like licking her hand and licking the ends of her claws.
She may be staying no matter what I say.
Okay. I'm just gonna fucking trust that Mary doesn't, I don't know, turn Miles to ash, I guess, and go into the van.
Great. You're in the van, and as you're shutting it, you hear Erasmus call out across. You know, already the sky is turning blue. You know, it's not full dark anymore. You can hear birds start to chirp. Birds that have nested in all the little crannies of this old like furnace complex. And you hear Erasmus go, "We're talking about this in the morning."
I'm not going to say anything.
You shut the van door, and the rest is hazy, as it always is when you slumber as one of the kindred. You don't quite remember. It's not like a human who lays down and rolls around and scrolls their phone. It's like, just like Miles, soon you are dead in the back of that van as the sun comes up outside. And the next thing you know, you are back, and you must both make a rouse roll for me to see if you have gotten hungrier, rousing yourself for the evening.
I have.
Great. Add 1 hunger.
Okay.
I have not.
Okay. You're okay. You got a 6 or higher, so you don't have more hunger. And yeah, you can exit the van. If you need to talk about next moves, feel free to do that. I can tell you that maybe if you pop open the door of the van to kind of see what it looks like outside, the other kindred are rousing themselves. Cross is on one end of the courtyard with his 2 guys in front of their bus. Erasmus is sitting with the kindred Kenya closer to the building where Mary and Miles are sitting. But they're deeper in the building. You'd have to go and check on them if you'd like to.
I feel like we should talk before we leave the van,
Yeah.
probably. So let's say we haven't opened the door yet, I guess.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, what are we doing here?
We were getting away from the vampires who were trying to use us, right? Trying to strike out on our own, right? Trying to be more independent, yeah?
Yeah.
More powerful.
Erasmus doesn't know what he's doing.
He's just got his ultimate weapon. But it's clear that all these people, They're about to fight a war. And she's their ace in the hole.
Well, as someone that knows more about war than me, what do you think we should do here?
If I'm going to make myself useful here, then I can lend them my services. I mean, because what they're going to do, if the prince, Sonia, Jackson, the rest of them are the power in town, then what we're going to be running is an insurgency. The question is, are you up for that? Is this what you want to sign up for?
I don't trust them. I don't trust the Camarilla. We have an in now with Mary, it seems like. As I see it, we have two options. We can fall in line, or we can try to take a bit more of a prominent place in this group, instead of just putting our fate in the hands of incompetent fucks like Erasmus. You saw him. He couldn't even keep his shit together.
That guy's no leader. He just fucking thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. There is a third option.
What's
Just
that?
hit the gas and drive until we can't drive anymore. Something tells me that's putting a target on us any worse than we ever had before.
Bang, 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 bang. Someone is knocking on the side of the van.
Yeah.
We need to have a talk.
I open the door.
Erasmus is standing there. He has Cross and his two guys behind him.
Talk.
Top of the evening.
Look, I mean, it's no joke. We've definitely gotten off on the wrong foot, but I really do want you to be a part of this. So
You have a funny way of showing it.
I'm done talking in circles here, bud, okay? Why us?
well, for starters, you know things that I need to know if we are going to win this fight. Come outside, please. Please, come out.
I feel comfortable here.
Okay, we'll talk here. We can talk here. Kenya. She starts to walk over. I hate them too. I know that you hate them, right? Ross and her people. They make this whole thing that we're part of. They make it unlivable, insufferable. We can't go on as their puppets all the time. I mean, am I wrong about that?
Failing to see how this is any less of a manipulative situation.
How is it less? I'm offering you a way to feed ethically. We move the blood from the hospitals into the urn, and then it's clean. You can stomach it. Do you understand? Like, we don't have to hunt people anymore. But if we want it to work, we have to take this city and hold it.
And you need our information and intelligence to do it. How the hell are you going to take them on? What's your strategy?
Yeah, I have 40 anarchs, okay, who I just sent a message to. They're coming here tonight, okay? And we have Mary, right? Mary, she is very strong.
And you
As
can't
you saw.
control her.
Well, that's okay because we agree on the underpinning philosophy of this crusade. We do. She and I have an understanding. We do. Okay, so maybe now we can talk, right? I feel like I'm getting through to you, right? Kenya, tell them. Tell them about your life. Tell them what has happened to you. Kenya kind of gives him sort of a look like she doesn't quite trust him either. And then she looks at you guys and she tells her story. I'll give you the high points. All right. She's from Detroit. She's a thin blood. She's been looking for a way to ethically sustain her existence. She can't stomach bagged blood. She can't feed on animals. She thinks it's barbaric. She can't feed from living humans. Like, it makes her want to destroy herself every day. So when she heard there might be another way, or there might be something different going on in Pittsburgh, she got in the first car and drove all night. And when she got here, she found that, yes, he had a way forward. And so she's asking you guys to help Erasmus. And he says, thank you. And then he looks at you guys. So that's what's at stake here, okay? She wanted to destroy herself, all right? Now I'm going to ask you some questions. And he actually pulls up his phone again and looks at what he needs to ask you. And he says, where is the haven of Sonia Nowak? Come on. Do you know the kind of things that she's done?
Jen seems indisposed.
She does.
Yeah.
Oh.
For a second, these are very intense gaze. Oh, no.
Yeah, I actually was so busy with my role playing, I didn't realize. Are you okay, Ashley?
My internet I'm plugged into Ethernet, but it keeps like buffering.
I'm so
and you
sorry.
guys are just gone.
It's so frustrating when that happens. So you've probably missed a little bit.
Yeah, I did a little.
Okay,
did it
that's
seem like
okay.
I was very
I
stoked?
thought Ross and I both thought you just had the most intense gaze of all time.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, she's really giving it all in this scene.
It's mostly just worried about this connection. I feel like I don't want to talk to these guys anymore until we can see Miles.
Okay.
No, he's okay.
All right. You know what? Fine. We'll go see Miles. Come on.
Yeah.
And now you're all kind of standing around, and Mary is kind of in the exact same position she was when you left her. Ruby is laying down in front of Miles's body, and Miles's body is sitting there dead.
No,
He's just in torpor. You know that, right? I mean,
but can you fix his mind?
His mind? Oh, you mean, what are you talking about?
Ross did something to him. She made him what, you know.
Yeah, no, she did it. She probably got him into a blood bond.
Yeah.
That's her whole MO, okay?
A blood bond.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Okay, well, if someone of a higher generation than yourself feeds their blood to another kindred or human repeatedly, then there's a sympathetic connection that is formed. They sort of feel each other's emotions, and the one that feeds is extremely, extremely reticent to disobey.
Can it be reversed?
Well, let's see if he can. He's a very smart guy. Let's see here. Yes, it can. And I can reverse it. I have certain methods that I use to reverse such things.
Can I tell if he's lying or not?
You may. You may roll a. Roll a wits plus insight
Wits plus insight. Okay. Doo-doo-doo. 3 successes.
Ooh.
He's full of shit again. He's full of shit.
This motherfucker.
Fucking prick.
Okay,
And
then
maybe
I'm
by
going.
using my very special methods, we could break it.
I'm going to walk up to him a little bit and be like, "And what very special methods are those? Please tell me in detail how you plan to help our friend."
You have to give me information first, Jen. You have to give me the information that I need first. I need to know the location of the haven of Sonia Nowak, Churchill Jackson, and I need to know everything about the steel building. I mean, what are they keeping in the basement? That's what I really want to know.
You don't know shit. You're using us just like them.
If you want to live the unlife that you dream of,
I'm going
to
to turn
help me right now.
and walk to Mary.
Okay.
I'm going to kneel down in front of Mary.
She looks up at you.
Mm-mm.
Have you thought more about what we talked about yesterday?
I have. It's not time yet. Soon.
Okay. I get up and I look at Erasmus. I go, "Then I'll wait." And I turn to go back in the van.
No. You're not going back in the van. Okay. Look, you have to give me this information. Okay? You're not going to help me.
Why should I? I know you're lying to me, Erasmus. You act like you're giving us a better life. You're just like them. You made us into this.
I'm sorry if this existence has been tough for you, but it's tough for all of us. Ask Kenya, okay? We've all had a hard time. I'm trying to make it easier for all of us. I'm trying to make it better. Curtis, the haven of Churchill Jackson. Just name the place.
How
He's
big
lying,
is this going
Curtis.
to be?
Actually, as he's talking to you, you guys can kind of hear cars pulling up in the front of the furnaces, He's like, it's going to be big, and it all has to happen fast before they're ready for us. And after last night, and he kind of looks over at Mary, after last night, they might start getting ready. So we have to move.
If Miles isn't awake and broken from the prince's control, there's no fucking deal. And I leave the room.
Okay, it's not that simple. It's torpor. It doesn't just magically go away. A lot of it. Okay. That's okay. As your storyteller, I can tell you that's completely fine. But of course, Erasmus is annoyed. Curtis, are you still in the room?
I just want to I don't like this back and forth. I want to know what your tactics are. You want to strike early, take out Churchill, take out Sonia, take out U.S. Steel, take them out. But from what I've sussed out, this organization is in every city in the fucking planet. What's going to stop them from smashing down on you with all the fury they got as soon as you take control?
It's a great question. Well, the thing is, what stopped them from coming down on Detroit? I mean, sheer numbers. The fact that these people are very, very interested in holding on to what they have. I mean, to the kindred, the city of Cincinnati might as well be a fucking medieval fiefdom. They don't want to get in their carriages and ride over here. Okay, if we just hit fast and hit hard and take out the major players, we'll have months of time to shore up our defenses and to come up with a strategy. And look, you can tell I need you. Some of these people that have responded to my call, they're good at the things that they do, but not all of them are good at tactics. I need people with a strong head on their shoulders. I mean, I chose you, Curtis. My coterie chose to give you this gift, and it can be a gift. But I need your help. Curtis, I'm just going to throw something out there, which is that you don't have to give up Sonia or Churchill. Maybe you have a different idea of information you want to give him. Maybe if you as a player can't really think of it, maybe you could make a roll to kind of come up with like a strategy here if there's something you want to give him. Or maybe you just don't want to give him anything, and that's completely fine as well.
Okay.
He's like,
Curtis is definitely intrigued by the idea of giving some authority.
Yeah. Just tell me what's in the basement of the steel building. What do they have down there?
I can tell you one thing you're right about. Is that all they seem to care about is what they control at the time. And the whole organization is riven with backbiting and betrayals. Everybody's just out for themselves, building little coalitions so they can fuck each other in the back every time the other one's got their back turned.
I know. I used to be part of it, just like you.
Oh, yeah? What made you walk away? Here?
I just realized that there had to be a better way to do this. But the thing that was stopping us was what? It was capitalism, right? Supply, demand, right? It's the hunt, right? The constant hunt. This is my territory. I have to keep my territory. And the urn, it solved that problem, right? So now we have an army. We have a weapon of mass destruction. We have what they have.
I can tell you a few things.
Okay. What do you want to tell me?
I can tell you what's in the basement of U.S. Steel Building, for one thing.
That's a great place to start. Okay, go ahead. Jen, I just want to, 1 second, Curtis. You start to tell him, you start to talk. Jen, you've gone back out to the van and you see that the other anarchs are showing up, the ones that were at that church. They're kind of milling about, getting out of their cars. You also see Kenya out there. Yeah, I mean, so if there's something you want to do, some way you want to interact with any of them, you're welcome to. If you want to kind of eavesdrop on this meeting Curtis is having, you're welcome to do that. Let me know how you'd like to interact with this camp that's kind of suddenly building up inside of this old furnace.
I think I would just watch and see if there's anything that piques my interest in terms of people coming in or conversations that are being had, maybe on the outside area.
That's a great idea. Okay, so why don't you give me a wits plus politics?
Okay. Mm-hmm. 2 successes.
Great. That's enough for me to tell you that there are 2 groups here. I mean, there's a lot of different groups that are starting to show up. 3 kindred here, 2 here, 1 lone one. But you see that kind of 2 groups are forming, and the sense that you're getting is that there are kind of true believer anarchs on one side of it who aren't all like loaded for bear with weapons, and they look like idealists, if you will. And then there's another group that's sort of forming, and they look mad, bad, and dangerous to know. And when you listen to them, they're talking a lot about the urn and when we're going to get fed and things like that. So, and then those two groups aren't really having a lot of truck with each other, because when they start to talk to each other, it's not going very well. He's basically drawn a literal rabble together here. Like,
right.
So what would you, is there anything else you'd like to do, or do you want to just continue to kind of investigate and kind of mill about the crowd?
Do I know where the urn is right now?
Great question. The urn is probably with Erasmus's things, which are inside the building where Mary and Miles and the meeting with Erasmus is taking place, between Curtis and Erasmus.
And it's probably just one big room, I'm guessing. There's not like a different point of entry.
Right. I mean, there are like little rooms and like places you can go into in that big building. But yes, it has a big central chamber that contains the huge furnace.
Okay.
Put it this way. If someone wanted to go in there, there are a lot of places to hide. There are a lot of places to sneak around. There are a lot of shadows, etc.
Okay. I'd like, if I could, find a vantage point where I can keep an eye on Miles without necessarily being spotted. I'm sure Mary has like a fucking sixth sense for me, but I would like to find a vantage point on him.
Great.
That doesn't expose me to other people.
Great. I think that's totally possible. What I want to do is I want you to roll your stealth plus your, I think this is a wits plus stealth. I don't think it's not really about movement. It's about you like figuring out kind of a good kind of perching place where you're kind of not seen, but you can kind of keep an eye on them. And if you fail it, you are going to be noticed. By who and how that will affect you, I don't know, and I don't want you to tell me yet.
If I don't have stealth, is it just a wits roll, I'm guessing?
That's correct.
Okay.
I don't want you to tell me yet what your result was. I want to go back to Curtis now. And Curtis, what are you telling Erasmus?
I would like to be telling Erasmus about Buddy. That he's being kept down there, what his powers were, what his operation was like. That from what I know, he claimed to be an independent operator, but he was supplying them with people. In addition to trafficking people, he was trafficking people for blood bags to them from overseas, even. Okay,
this sounds like someone that we could work with, right? Someone that's being held illegally, held against his will. This is someone we need to bring up out of that basement. Is there anyone else down there?
I have a feeling you wouldn't be none too happy to see me.
Sure. So yeah, we don't send you to do that. Okay. And is there anyone else down there?
Who is not?
Oh, that's okay. You can ask me as the player.
Yeah. It's one of the two, not Bex, but Nixon. Is he down there?
That's right. Yeah.
Squirrely guy, Nixon. One of yours?
No, he wasn't.
Well, that's not the rap that they got him on. Because he's down there for a traitor.
No. I think that Mary, neutralized him when she entered the U.S. Steel building last. And he took the wrath for some of the things that she did.
So she's been in there?
Oh, yeah.
Why didn't she just fuck it up from the inside like she did last night?
We needed the urn. We needed to build our strength. We needed to gather followers, and we've done that. Okay, so you're telling me Ross is just putting all of her enemies in a box beneath her home. Really smart. Really, really smart, Ross. Okay, great. Now, Sonia Noack's Haven. Do you know it?
That I can't tell you.
But Curtis has been there.
I've been there. I'm not.
And so Curtis is lying.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Curtis, I need a manipulation. Actually, you could use composure if you'd rather.
Yeah.
Plus subterfuge roll. And
Not
you're going to
right.
roll it versus Erasmus's insights.
No, I had 0 hunger at the end of last session because I sucked the urn juice. And I didn't get any extra hunger. I didn't get any extra hungers from waking up. So am I still at 0 hunger?
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Nice.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
Okay. So he's going to roll his wits plus insight versus your manipulation. Or no, I said composure. Your composure plus subterfuge.
Yeah, let's see if shifty little Curtis can pull one over on.
That's a lot of counting.
Oh, I'm ready for your answer. How many did you get?
1.
Oh!
Okay. Erasmus kind of goes, okay, what about Jackson? We know that, you've been working with him.
Yeah. So you've been tailing a lot. You've been tailing us. Keeping tabs.
I mean, a little bit. It's been difficult. We've clearly had our own operation to run here.
Yeah. You say you need me for tactical advice. Have you fought before? Really?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
I've been in some tight situations.
Yeah, this lifestyle puts you in a lot of tight situations.
You still haven't answered my question. Churchill Jackson's Haven, Curtis.
I've got a question for you. If I start giving you information about the person I was working for, then I want some people working for me.
Explain what you mean by that.
I need you to give me 10 people. 10 people you trust, 10 people with experience. We are going to work together, and you're not going to give us orders. You can suggest, and I can make suggestions to you. But if you really want to fight this, then you're going to need people who've dealt with, urban Tsebi urban insurgencies before. And that involves a little bit of planning and a little bit of leadership. If you want me to roll on my ex-leader, then I need some people under me to make up the difference.
Okay, you know what? That can be arranged if you prove you're loyal, Curtis. Currently, all I know about you is that, you're only as trustworthy as your options are at the moment that I'm talking to you, okay? So I need to know I can trust you. So tell me the truth. Where is Sonia Noack's Haven?
This is the thing about trust, all right? We both have limited options. I can't tell you Sonia's Haven. Tell me who my people are, and I'll give you Jackson's.
Okay. Now I want to know if Jen Brown got any successes on that wits roll. 1 success. Okay. All right. Cross is in there with you, and he kind of points. Erasmus points to Cross and kind of points over to a dark corner, and you see Cross start moving over there. Cross's goons move forward toward you, Curtis, and Erasmus says, "We don't keep slaves here. Curtis. Okay, everyone here is free. If
Good.
you want soldiers, you recruit them. All right. I'm not the leader. Okay, I'm a guide.
Oh.
All right.
Oh.
So what we're gonna do right now is we are just gonna make sure that we can trust Jen Brown. Hi, Jen. And Cross is currently moving toward you, Jen Brown.
Ugh. In what way, I guess? Is he like
Threateningly?
No, sorry. I mean sorry, I mean
he's already pulled his like Desert Eagle.
am I outside of the building and he's inside? Is it
Wow, that's a super good question, right? So you're in a dark corner of the building. You kind of came in through a side door and you thought you were in a pretty good position. You were like, 100 yards away, and you were kind of in deep shadow behind a big pile of boxes and crates. But apparently Erasmus clocked you, and before you realized it, he had kind of given a signal, and Cross is almost on top of you.
the urn doesn't happen to be near me, does it?
The urn is not over there where Curtis and Erasmus have been talking. It's kind of like across the room with Mary and Miles right now. So you could make a dash for it if you wanted to.
No, I'm just gonna walk forward toward Cross and not
Great.
act scared.
Great. He takes your shoulder and pushes you forward into the circle of light with Curtis and Erasmus. And Erasmus goes, okay, so yeah. And he starts calling in more people from outside, and more kindred start entering, one of whom has just the one arm tied under. You remember that gentleman from earlier. And he's kind of waving them in. And now there are, 4 more guys in here who look mad, bad, and dangerous to know, in addition to Cross and his 2 guys. So 7 total. And he's looking at you guys, and he's like, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a loyalty test, okay? Miles Vanderbuck, he failed his when he came to the communion and tried to hurt our leader. And he points to Mary, and he goes, at dawn, Jen, you and Kenya are thin blood. You can stand the sun for a few minutes' time without taking too much damage. At dawn, you guys are going to watch Miles's corpse burn in the sun.
What?
And you heard me. And then we'll know. Then we'll know we can trust you. And that I can act on the intel that you gave me.
No.
No.
Okay.
You want a test of our loyalty? We fucking brought him back to you. We could have split right there.
You want any of the information we have? I don't give a fuck about dying. Okay? You can put us all on there to burn. We're worth nothing to you dead. And if he dies, I will step into the sun my goddamn self.
Well, I might force you to do that. I might. Okay.
Well, good luck waging your little war.
Take these guys and I don't know, put them in one of those rooms and make sure they're locked in tight. I got to think about what I want to do with them. And now, like, these 7 guys are moving toward you.
Is this who you really want as your leader? We're valuable assets to this war you want to rage, and he's willing to kill us because we want to protect one of our own. Don't you want to protect your own?
Put him in the furnace. Put him in the furnace.
Am I registering with anyone?
That's a really good question. Why don't you give me a charisma plus leadership roll? Because that sounded like you were being a leader.
I have no leadership. Fuck. So just charisma? Could I do charisma and persuasion?
Here's what's going to happen. You can do charisma flat, but if you succeed, you're getting a dot of leadership right now. So, and you know what I'm gonna do to you, Ashley? We do it all the time. I'm going to make you tell me one more time what you're saying to these guys as they're kind of closing in on you and grabbing you to take you. Because Erasmus just said, go throw them in the furnace.
Right.
So this is what I'm doing to you. You know I always do this to you.
So what I'm saying is, we're valuable assets to this little war you want to rage. And your leader is willing to burn us because we want to protect one of our own. One of our own who's been taken by the Camarilla, and we want them back. Are you willing to let this happen? How is this any better than what they do? He snaps his fingers and you just do what he says? He's a fucking coward. He couldn't keep his shit together for 5 seconds. I was the one who calmed Mary down. And you're following him? If you're really fucking independent operatives like you think you are, then think for your fucking self.
Roll your charisma. Oh, and add a die.
Oh, add a die. Okay.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay. 3 successes.
Yeah.
All right. They pause. And even though these are the scariest looking guys that you saw out there, they all kind of pause and they kind of look at him, and he's sitting there in his like sport coat with the patches, and he's got his like long hair, and he's like, put them in the furnace. And they go, you got to sell us the old masters. You got to give them up to us. We can't win this unless you do that.
I want to help you. I hate them as much as you do, but I will not let my friend get killed. This is not his fault. That's all we're asking for.
Pipe in here?
Yeah, of course you can.
Just like, what the fuck is this even for? If it's not the loyalty of the people that you came up with, the people that you fight with, damn it. You think this guy's gonna stick his neck out for you?
What is this? Some kind of coup? You're running a coup on me. Okay, Mary. And she kind of looks up, and he's like, Mary, what do we have to say about this? I mean, like, what are we gonna do here, right? I mean, these people, they're losing their way, right? They're losing. They're not listening to the voice of God.
I have an angel inside of me. The beast is untamed, and he wants to tame it.
Mary stands up. She walks to where the roller bag that holds the urn is. Mm-hmm. She unzips it. She carries it over to Miles's body, and she pours it onto his body. Pours the vitae onto Miles's body, and suddenly you see Miles go. Jen Brown gets a new pip. She gets a pip of leadership. Yeah. You know what Curtis does too. And suddenly these guys are like pointing their guns at Erasmus, and he's like, "This, you can't be serious about this. You can't be serious. This is not happening, okay? You still need me to organize this. I have plans."
Curtis pulls his gun out as well, and it's like, didn't you fucking hear her? We're cutting the leash, man. It's time to let the fucking beast out. Bam!
Okay, great. You know what? I think this will be a one-roll conflict. So right now, Curtis, and you're going to get
a little bit
influence
the rest of them. You know,
I know, yeah. So this is a one-roll conflict. So I think that he's going to roll to kind of dodge or run. You know, you're going to roll to just blast him, and whoever wins this will decide whether he kind of escapes out into the night or whether you blast him and everybody else follows suit. Is that cool? Uh-huh. All right, so. Here we go. This is his kind of dice pool for trying to avoid your shot. And When you're ready, so you're rolling dexterity plus firearms. What's your dice pull for that?
7.
Okay, let's see who gets the most successes. Ready? Roll.
Okay. 3 successes.
3 successes.
Ooh.
You like wing him, and he just starts running out into the night. And
Not the other guys.
yeah, let's see what the other guys decide here. Yeah, okay. So they all start firing as well. Bang, bang, bang. But he's out into the courtyard now. So they're like, what do we do? Do we get him? Even Cross is like,
I look at him and I'm like, turn across, and I go, you go after him. Turn to the other two, and I say like, get down on the ground, take shots at him as he pursues. Don't hit Cross. And then I see if Ruby's not Mary attached.
She's there. She's by your side immediately.
And I was
okay.
I was like, get him.
They run out into the courtyard, and you can now hear Erasmus like yelling to the other anarchs, and he's going, "It's time! The revolution is now!" And he's gathered a lot of them around him, and we might have to start doing this like turn by turn, because basically your guys and your dog like run out there, and he's like climbing onto the van and addressing everybody in this really loud voice. So yeah, let's start taking it turn by turn here for the last half hour of the show. I want to know what you're going to do this round. So Curtis, just to be clear, let me make sure I have it clear. You sent Cross out after him, and two of the 7 guys that were back there to cover Cross, right? And then Ruby.
Take his legs out from under him and sending Ruby there to stop him.
Yeah, so they may get him. They may get him in this first turn. You've already sicked them on him, and they are not, they're not useless. So they're gonna head out in that direction. I've got their stats right here. Okay, so what do you want to do this turn?
Me?
Yeah, because it looks like things are about to come to like a big kind of a shift here. He's like trying to talk to the other anarchs, and there are currently 30 anarchs out there of the 40 that you've met, plus, I mean, almost the entire group that you talked to before.
Okay, yeah, I wanted also. I think for this round, I just want to get him down. So I think I'll join in the firefight.
Okay, so you're just gonna like move to the door and start firing at him. Jen, what are you going to do?
Okay, I want to restrain Miles. I know Thomas isn't here, but he's still blood bonded to the prince. So I want him. Right. I want him alive, but I want him restrained.
So the thing that's going with Miles is like you can tell that he's not like conscious. He's not talking to you, Jen. He's not like he's just kind of like recovering from whatever happened to him. And now that he's like covered all in blood, he's like almost in fetal position, and he's just kind of moving like a baby in the womb, kind of as Mary kind of like pours the urn over him. So what would you like to do? Oh, his wounds are kind of like closing and knitting up.
Okay, so he doesn't. What you're saying basically is like he doesn't seem like he needs to be restrained.
No,
okay.
No,
he's out of
and I think you could walk there and you could see that. And then is there anything else you'd like to do this round?
Can I see? Are there? There's probably not windows I can see out of to know what. I hear Erasmus shouting though, probably, right?
Yes, you do. Mm-hmm. Yes, you do.
I'm gonna go up to Mary and basically say like, things are fracturing. What would you do?
Now you have to let them follow their beast. You have to let them follow the angel inside them. Don't become like him. Don't become like your prince. Let them listen and let them decide.
Okay, I'm gonna run out after she says that.
Okay. Let's start this round. So Erasmus is just gonna climb up onto this thing and make a social roll, but it may be really interrupted by all of these gunshots. So why don't you make your gunshot, Curtis?
It's like one of my biggest dice pulls, and I got a total failure.
Oh no!
Okay. So the other guys start firing. There's 3 of them. Yeah, and so they don't miss. They do a lot of damage altogether. And then Ruby attacks, and she's fast, and he's not that far away. So she runs out there and starts to drag him off the side of that van as he's trying to climb up onto it.
That's a girl.
Okay. And now his roll to get up there. And he's using what abilities he has, but it's totally not enough. So he kind of like takes a bunch of shots and then Ruby pulls him down. And now the Anarchs are all screaming and shouting and rushing to him and saying they've killed Erasmus. And Cross and his guys are like out there pointing guns at everybody, and it's about to be a bad situation. So what is I think Jen Brown, it took you around to talk to Mary and run out there. So now you're out there. Curtis, you're out there. You're just like kind of just outside the building that you just came out of with your gun drawn. What would you like to do this round, Jen Brown?
I feel like I should have said that I wanted to do this, but could I have taken a little bit of a sip from the urn before I ran out, knowing that I needed some juice?
Gotta get that juice.
I gotta get that juice.
Sorry,
you know
Dad,
what?
I gotta get my juice.
You know what? I'm being a bad boy.
Damn
and I'm saying that urn is empty. It was all spent on Miles.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh,
all right. I'm going to. Well, then, by my own druthers, I suppose I'm going to get up on top of another car and try to shout to get everyone's attention.
And I'll help her by firing into the air. Okay,
so what we're going to do now is you're going to do an intimidate roll, Curtis. You're going to add a die because you're firing a gun into the air. And you're like, shut up. And you can roll roll resolve plus intimidate. And then Jen Brown, they will listen to you if Curtis's intimidate goes off.
Okay.
And then what are you going to say to them? Do you know?
Vaguely.
Okay. I'm going to let you say it and then we'll roll. Okay, we'll do it like that. So first, let's see how Curtis's intimidate goes. What's your pool for that? Your resolve plus intimidate.
4 pips.
Okay, and how'd you roll?
1.
Okay, they're not quite listening yet. Jen Brown, time for you to talk. They're not quite listening yet. They're all kind of like screaming and pulling at Erasmus and trying to get him back up. So what are you going to say?
Okay. I'm going to say this man is a liar and a coward. He is as bad as the Camarilla. I know you don't know me, but you know the other men in this group. Would they have turned on this man for no reason? And I'm going to gesture to Cross and the other people that they must know.
Okay. All right. Give me, you now have a charisma plus leadership. You have a dot in it now.
I do.
If you'd like, you could use composure instead, actually, because you're acting calm in the face of a scene of chaos.
It's the same. So
it's the same.
We'll just
Okay,
see.
Great. Let's call it composure since it doesn't matter. And how many dice is that?
That's 4, and I got 2 successes.
2 successes?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody stops to listen to you for a minute.
Okay.
They've all stopped.
Do you see how Mary isn't out here? If this was done improperly, if this was the wrong thing to do, I would be splayed across the ground right now. I'm not asking you to follow me. I'm not asking you to not be angry or to not have questions, but what I'm asking you is to come inside and leave him be.
He said the revolution was tonight.
Because he knew he was losing power, which is what he wanted. He doesn't want an equitable partnership with all of you. He wants a second Camarilla. He turned us to make us puppets, just like they did. I want a different way, don't you?
Yeah, I want a different way. Fuck him, college boy.
That's right. Fucking nerd.
Kenya walks forward and she's like, he found the urn. He had a plan. The Camarilla is going to move against us tonight, maybe tomorrow night. We've got to move against them first.
You're right.
Are you ready to lead this revolution?
Then let's move against them. Let's do it fast and quick before they can gather their strength. Let's not follow somebody who last time he was in a fight, it was in a fucking video game. Let's hit him hard. Let's hit him where it hurts. Let's hit him soon. Not to raise up a false prophet, but to let the angel out. Loyalty, freedom, loyalty, freedom,
loyalty, freedom, loyalty, freedom. And that's when Mary appears, walking through the crowd, and she says, God wants us to sacrifice endlessly. Our pain glorifies him. He wants the angels who have betrayed their divine nature to be brought low. The proud angel who thinks his laws are above God's. The meek angel who hides in the shadows and whispers so they think that God cannot hear their words. She climbs up onto the van in like one movement. He sees them. He hears them. And he wants their temples sundered, their towers to fall. He wants Elysium to be taken. And then everybody starts just going ape shit and cheering. And God, it's a fucking blood rave.
After all.
And I can't believe it. I think we're going to stop there. I think we're going to stop there. At least you guys are like, oh, you're disappointed. Well, I'll tell you something. We can figure a couple other things out. One thing that I think happens is if either of you have a stain, it's gone.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because one of our chronicle tenets is not to let them make you a slave. And you have not let Erasmus make you into the anarch version of a slave. So there's that. I think that you get some willpower back right now too.
Ooh, that would be
go ahead
nice.
and give some willpower back. Let's see. You know what? Each of you could take 2 if you're down. Take 2 willpower back.
Never get above the level that you started with. Is that true?
That's correct. You can't go above that level. And I want to ask you. Because this is important. Actually, we can spend the last 20 minutes of our session, maybe not even all 20 minutes. What do you think's going to happen now?
I don't know.
Because
I don't know.
I didn't think that you would end this session in charge of an army of 40 minutes.
This is where we want to be. Curtis is.
But I like it. I like it for you. I like it for you. You know why I like it as your storyteller? Because it feels like something. It's going to be very difficult for you to manage.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And Mary, your good pal, has just called for taking Elysium.
Right.
So that's probably going to happen very soon. In fact, it's probably going to happen in our Gen Con game.
I was going to say, is that going to be the Gen Con game?
Eastern. Yes.
Holy shit.
Yes, a crew of Anarchs is going to attack Elysium tomorrow night.
Yes.
Okay.
She also called out, Churchill and Sonya in a way. I mean, like,
I got no love for them, but
yeah, we'll find out what happens tomorrow night. But I just want to make sure my players know what's in the offing here. I mean, it feels like the revolution, like many revolutions, is kind of starting of its own momentum.
Yeah.
But
these things have a way of getting out of control real fast and switching leadership very fast.
Yes, they do, don't they? They do. These things, I mean, if you even look at history, they often switch leadership a lot, these revolutions and coups.
But we'll be the ones who stay in power.
Yeah, I think we're good. I don't think there's any reason that we would get ousted.
Yeah.
What are they going to do if Mary asks them for Churchill and for Sonya's havens?
Well, for me, I don't know about Curtis, but I just wanted Miles to be okay. And I felt like our only leverage was the info that we had. So I really didn't want to get into a situation where we showed all our cards and then Miles got, ashed.
Yeah.
Although I am worried that Sabrina is still with them.
Mm-hmm.
Sabrina is on she's with Sonya's clan. So, there's that. I need you guys to tell me, I think, what you think you'll do. I mean, like, Elysium's going to get attacked, and, you are the leaders now. You can't just stand at the sidelines. And Curtis was talking about acting quickly and tactically. So, and you don't have to reveal now, but I actually do want to know, what are your characters going to do? What are you going to go after? What are you going to do in this revolution that's starting right now?
I think that Curtis meant what he said, and it's he's learned, I think, that if you want to not be a slave and a puppet in this world, then you got to have power of your own. And so let's use it while we got it. And as much as he was trying to work to get into Churchill's good graces, and he just loved every bit of that sweet, sweet approval, well, Churchill's an enemy now. So he's the most likely line of defense, so he got to go.
Fuck. Jen Brown, what do you think? You kind of don't like both sides, Jen Brown, right? She's like, she's not really that enamored with the Anarchs either, is she?
No, I mean, and I think she's acutely aware that this idea that like they could just be a flat hierarchy is not going to work. But at the same time, I think Erasmus not being at the head has made her a little bit more amenable. And that she and Curtis are at the head makes her a little bit more amenable, because I think Jen does have like a little bit of a power hungry streak, probably. Mm-hmm. She owns her own tech company.
Yeah. I'd be happy being the generalissimo to Jen Brown, CEO of the Anarch.
Well, then I think that the decision that will have to be made, and we can let the events of the Gen Con game affect it somewhat, so you can wait to make the decision, is, are we striking? There are two other big threats that we know of, which are Churchill and Sonya. It's what Erasmus kept asking you. When we play our game on Saturday, who are we striking at? And also, what is Miles's role going to be in all of this?
I mean,
wait for Thomas to come back and for you guys to be like,
pissed.
Okay, so we control the Anarch army now.
Thomas has been so hilariously furious at
I know. So genuinely mad.
He shouldn't have got torpored. He could have stopped you.
So how many Anarchs do we have under our control right now?
There were 40 in that courtyard.
And do we have a sense at all of how many vampires Elysium has?
Pittsburgh?
I mean, not in Pittsburgh, but like are at the ready at Elysium. Like the people that are.
At Elysium, you saw a lot of ghouls in those security uniforms, right?
Mm-hmm.
And on any given night, there were maybe one or two vampires who had some business with the prince, some reason to be there. Friday nights was often more of like the prince holding court. So it was a time to kind of go and sort of all kind of commune together if you were a Camarilla vampire. There are a lot of factions running around out there. You guys took out the Ventru leadership before tonight, like sessions and sessions ago. But, you know, that Tremere doctor that you spoke with in your first session, he's still out there somewhere.
Right.
You've never even ever talked to the Toreador clan in any meaningful way, except for Laura, who kind of runs a coterie based around the nightclubs of the city. There are all kinds of targets, but you know, it is true in a revolution that you know the leadership usually is what you need to make tumble first, and then you know you get a little more time and a little more wiggle room. So, boy, what a crazy game! I love this.
Yeah. Holy shit, it's very fun.
Think about it a little bit because, and I'll let you know what happens in tomorrow night's game. And then you'll be able to really kind of decide how you guys want to rage against the dying of the light on Saturday.
So we don't need to give any sort of
like specifics
before tomorrow. We're just going to see how tomorrow happens, or
well, I think that you can send me any specifics you like, or you can tell them to me right now if you're thinking of something right now.
Curtis, do you have anything? As the general of the Anarchs?
As the new war leader?
War captain.
You don't have to, obviously, but
yeah, I mean, just off the top of the dome, like attacking a highly fortified high rise is probably not tough.
Good. Yeah.
Very tough. Although there might be ways of doing it if we could find secret entry points, but luring people out and attacking them outside is an option. And also, and taking out people in their havens also. But before,
if you're playing in tomorrow's game, I hope you're listening to Curtis give you strategy straight from the source right now.
Yeah, attacking people in their havens, also attacking people and making it look like other factions within the Camarilla, so that they distrust each other. That's
good.
So discord in their own ranks.
This is all good, juicy stuff.
Do you feel like Churchill is the best as basically the general of the Camarilla a bit? Do you feel like he's the one to hit?
I feel like he might be the one to hit because he's got the power. He's got the eyes on the street.
I can't wait to see that scene. That's gonna be straight out of Donnie Brasco. Whoa, you know what I mean? What a sad night that's gonna be. Well, I can't wait. I can't wait to see all of it. If you guys do have further thoughts, what direction you want to take this revolution, send them to me, and we will incorporate them into your game on Saturday. And I will let you know how it goes tomorrow. And maybe you could just tune in and watch us play our Gen Con game. That's at 7 p.m. Eastern. And it will be on the Gen Con Twitch channel, on Gen Con's Twitch channel. I want to thank Ashley Burch and Ross Bryant again. Thank you guys so much. We'll have Tommy back next time, and it'll be another big bloody mess. Bye-bye. Okay, I'm going to hang out for a second. I bet there might be some questions tonight, and or just comments. Please feel free to tell me however you feel. I'm going to do our end of show business. Please keep up with our schedule because we are programming all kinds of new and cool things. We're on Instagram and Twitter, _streamofblood_. That's where we post about new games we're doing, extra games we're doing. We're on Reddit at r/streamofblood. And please join our Facebook group because we're chatting in there about all kinds of things. If you are a horror or a role-playing game fan or a horror role-playing game fan, I would love to just hear you tell me what you're into because I want to do things that you guys think are cool and you're interested in. I already had a guy in there give me a great idea for our Cthulhu game that I think I'm going to use. Our title card illustration is by the incredible Will Pottorff. That's Pottorff, Will Pottorff. He has a cool Instagram where you can see a lot of his artwork. And then you can also see it on willpottorff.com. And we have a lot of in-game artwork from our very own Ross Bryant who you see every week on the show. He's at Ross BB on Instagram. The theme music for Vampires of Pittsburgh is Get Pink by Axel Kazis Taylor. Search for them on SoundCloud to hear more. And we'd like to give a special thanks to Megan Arch, Sophia Otero, Sarah Carr, and Garrett Ross for their hard work on the logos, graphic design, and promotion of the show. The most important thing when you do any kind of stream like this is putting up like nice looking little ads on Instagram and Facebook. It's a giant part of it. It's the only way that people know it's happening. And the people I just mentioned, I'm going to mention them again: Megan Arch, Sophia Otero, Sarah Carr, and Garrett Ross all created that stuff for us. So we want to just say thank you so much, because that's the stream. That's what makes the stream work. Okay, I'm going to hang out for a little bit. Here we go. I ask this every week. How surprised were you about Ash and Ross's choices? Did you, in your wildest dream, imagine Jen leading a coup? No, I didn't. I did not imagine that. I just had the encounters planned to see what they would do. And I knew they hated Erasmus, but I didn't think it would quite go this far. But I believe it. Like I feel convinced that these two could do it, that they could kind of get people onto their side. I mean, she's already been the leader of a company. He definitely sounds more like he knows what he's doing in terms of fighting a war than Erasmus does. So I believe it. I don't think it's going to be easy. I think it's going to be really hard. And that's why I think it's such a cool direction for the story to go now. I think it's going to be really hard for them and pull their characters through the ringer in a way that they haven't been before, because they've been a lackey and now they have to be a leader. That's tough. So I can't wait to see what happens. Streamed here and Gen Con. Gen Con says stream of blood for the stream.
Hey.
Hi, it's our secret storyteller, Quentin Trucks.
So all of our Gen Con games will be available to see on the Stream of Blood Twitch channel. But Saturday's Vampire the Masquerade game with our regular cast, which will be the second part of this and the follow-up to our attendee game, will only be hosted there. It actually is going to live on the Gen Con Twitch channel and will find its way to our YouTube channel sometime later.
Okay, thank you so much, Clint. But hang out, okay? Because I just want you to kind of help me answer questions and kind of let the audience know a little bit about you, because you're a really important part of this. So, right. What's your sign?
I'm a Pisces, Jared. Thank you for asking.
What are Pisces known for? That's the fish, right?
Yeah, we're cold and smooth.
All right, I clearly made a mistake here. Thank you for correcting me on that, Clint. Clint remembers how the stream works, and I do not. All right. How do you approach the city management side of games? Last time I ran a game with kingdom building, I abstracted it into a card game during the story's downtime. What a cool idea. I love that. Yeah, I think like city management is such a cool way to play a role-playing game. And Vampire is one that kind of lets you do that a little bit, right? So maybe we'll get into some of that. I don't know if I'll create like a new system for it. But, we've been playing Blades in the Dark with the Glass Cannon crew, and Blades in the Dark has that great downtime system. So I might kind of steal some of that. I mean, I'll still use the vampire rules, but just the idea that there is sort of this management phase where you make decisions about the next project you're going to work on and things like that. I might steal that a little bit for the vampire game, because that could be a really cool way. I mean, that's assuming they don't all die in this glorious revolution and it doesn't all go tits up and blow up in their faces. Yeah. How many vampires were in Pittsburgh before all the Anarchs came? So, in my headcanon, and by the way, I almost don't want to tell you this. I don't want to tell you this almost because, it's a little bit behind the curtain. But in my headcanon, and maybe someone will go, that's impossible. There were an equal amount. So there were about 40 to 50 already there. and they were almost all Camarilla with a few outliers. And the Anarchs that have come have doubled the population. And I think that puts me on the low end of there's been all kinds of debate. I remember the old books published how many vampires there were in the world. And then I remember being on all these like forum conversations where people were like, that would be impossible. And like people did the math. Please don't do that to me. I did not do the math, but my thought was that Erasmus had drawn enough vampires to make it an even fight, not enough to just totally dominate and wipe the floor with the Camarilla. And he was hoping that Mary would be the thing that really tipped the scale for him. As a DM, would you remind players about things they have that they could use that add to the story, or do you expect them to remember their inventions? You know, I thought about that USB drive today, Baron Arthas. I thought about it, and I didn't remind them tonight. I didn't really plan to remind them, but I think I will remind them soon. I mean, maybe what a great little USB full of missions for them to go on when they have to rid the city of every Camarilla vamp that is still operating, right? Because they'll have all of their enemies and a little thumb drive with their haven location and their, weaknesses or the ways that they're weak. So, yes, we will bring that back in. And thank you for reminding us. Thank you. More personal question, but I want to start storytelling a VTM game with friends. Do you have any tips for a new DM? I do have tips. Which is really try to make it open-ended, which is the hardest thing to do in a role-playing game, is to really allow it to be open-ended. And to do that, I recommend a book called Encounter Theory and a book called Play Unsafe. Both of those books kind of taught me how to make things more open-ended and to just kind of allow yourself to improvise, because I've played in a ton of games, and the one issue most games have, in my opinion, is that they are not truly open-ended. They are kind of like, I expect you to go here, I expect you to fight this guy, and I expect you to get this item or something. So try to make it open-ended, because I think players really respond to that. And then the other advice I think I've given on here before is play with your friends, because even if they're not that into vampire or tabletop role-playing games, this whole thing is ultimately, all these games, playing games in general, is about spending time with your friends and laughing with your friends. Sometimes when I've been younger, I've gotten really into like my world. It's about my world, or it's about me getting the rules right tonight, and all these things that it's not really about. It's about playing with your friends and laughing your asses off and spitting Mountain Dew out your nose. So find your friends who are your good pals and ask them to do it, even if they've never done it before. You don't know if they'd be that into it, and I bet you they will love it. What are the odds that the end game of this whole campaign is that the coterie winds up in charge of a used car? I mean, maybe once they're like the leaders of an anarch Pittsburgh, finally we'll just say you guys have, 20 Ford Tauruses, okay? And you can just use them up as much as you want, because you have an endless, now infinite supply. You have... You've created a retainer group who are just car thieves for you, who just keep you in Ford Tauruses. Maybe that's the thing to do. Yes, the car question. Vampire, we need a hashtag about the coterie car situation. Coterie car. That's good alliteration. We can come up with something. I'm asking you, VOP fans, to come up with some witty phrase about the fact that this coterie destroys 2 cars per episode. All right. I think that looks like it's it, right? That's all the questions. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Tune into the Gen Con games, and we'll see you soon. I love you all. Hashtag get pink.